Hello, this is Marchet Denise Fulham, the author of Confessions of Church Girls, proud mother of Jada Louise and Anzel Marchet. And I'm so excited because I have my very own sister, Sarah Nicole Butler, with me.
Oh, guys. Hi, girl. Thanks for letting me be a part of your video. You've been clutching
Yay,
this daily,
yay,
consistent.
yay.
Go, girl.
Yay. And the cool part is that I didn't get a chance to do a video today. And then I get to realize that this is the day before your birthday. We're rhyming.
Come
And
on,
then the
somebody.
best part is that Sarah announced her Hey You book. Hey You.
What?
So I'm so honored that you came on here tonight or to talk about your book. And we do this really impromptu. So me and Sarah didn't practice anything. And I really appreciate her coming on to talk about her new book. So we're just going to go with the flow. I guess I'm
Let's
right.
go, girl. Come on,
Dr.
somebody. There's a
It's just
flow.
coming out, right?
Let it go.
And we're going
Yeah,
to
let
talk
it go.
about her book. I'm so very proud of you, Sarah. I want to start there.
Yeah.
I kind of got the inside scoop a couple of weeks ago as she told me, that she was going to release a book before her birthday. I'm not going to get emotional, although I feel tears. I didn't have tears a minute ago,
Yeah,
but it makes me very proud of Sarah that she set a goal and she's just been, man, I want to say knocking it out the park, but neither one of us play baseball. But yeah, literally
I'm sorry.
knocking
Yeah.
it out the park, Sarah.
Mm.
So I'm
Thanks.
gonna open up the Zoom or the floor for you to just talk about Hey You. How did it start? Wherever you want to go with it. I'll probably
Yeah.
jump in every now and then to kind of get us there. But Hey You, how did Hey You start? What's Hey You?
Yeah. So first, I want to say you're a cool big sister. I
Aw,
love you
I
and I
love you
appreciate
too.
you.
Aw,
And a lot of the things I even had vision for to see, you started on the road first. So lost that. We'll start there. But Hey You was it first came like I was having like really hard mental times, like times where it was like I understood that like God was showing something or saying something, and I thought I was in line with what it was. And it was just actually a variety of things. Looking at what my life was and what I thought it would be, and seeing the disparity, and but still knowing that there was a person that I wanted to be, like even in the midst of not um like seeing things that I thought I would see. I
right.
didn't want to be like bitter, or I didn't want to be like angry, or I didn't want to be hurt or sad all the time. So I started writing these notes in my phone. It was like I would feel super overwhelmed for a while, and then I would finally get into a stride where my thoughts were clear.
Mhm.
And so I started writing notes in my phone, and I would say it would be, "Hey, Sarah." And I
Aw,
would write a note to myself so that when I started having like challenging feelings or thoughts again, or it felt like I was having a hard time navigating through something, I could go back to those notes and be like, okay, remember this. I know it's hard for you with the way you're feeling to see it clearly, but
right,
remember this.
right,
So it was, "Hey, Sarah." So,
right.
and when I started writing this, it was that I wanted to share these notes with other people, because our experiences might not be the same. There are principles of living that are the same. So it went from "Hey, Sarah" to "Hey,
Hey
you."
you. Hey
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
See
So
what I
it's
love
just
about
me
that?
talking. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that, Sarah. I love
Yeah.
that you took notes, right? How many of us, I mean, we're church girls, and I wrote the Confessions of Church Girls, but I mean, I grew up taking notes, right? Did it all the time. But I love that you took the notes that you took for yourself, right?
Mhm.
And then you were transparent enough to open it up to the world, right? Because how many of us have those same things, right?
Mhm.
Note that we can relate to, and that you are transparent enough to open it up to other people. And I
Mhm.
guarantee you, all
Mhm.
those Hey Sarahs, there's so many of us that is going to read it and be like, Yeah. Hey,
Mm,
you, hey, me,
yeah,
right? Hey,
right.
Sarah, hey, you, hey, me.
That's right. Hey, you. That's it. Yeah,
Right.
that's exactly what it
Mm,
was for. Yeah. And then we can, especially when we're in those times when it feels super overwhelming, those can feel so isolating and so lonely. And you forget that, or it's easy to forget that other people know what it's like in that space, in feeling kind of like you're going through something by yourself. And so even in that, it was like hoping that this book would come along someone and let them know that they're not by themselves. It's like,
right.
hey, you know, and just walking them through some of the things that I needed to know,
Right.
walking through different things. So,
Ding, ding, ding. That's key, right? Because I know how that feels,
mhm,
right? And I'm glad that you use that as fuel, right? I wish that more people would remember how they felt in
mhm,
times and use that as fuel so that other people would have that, you know, um, and simplify it, right?
mhm,
Sometimes I think people, I love that you took something as simple as notes in your phone,
yeah,
right? As something that could now help other people to get
mhm,
through, right? And I
yeah,
love that you were transparent enough to share it, right? And I pray that it motivates other people, right? I don't know if I ever shared this story with you about my favorite statue in Atlanta. Um,
mm-mm,
it's the statue of it's people on top of each other's shoulders, and at
mm,
the very top, somebody's reaching down
mm,
to grab someone else. And that's what I feel like your Hey You book is.
yeah,
It's reaching down to someone else,
mhm,
giving them the opportunity or showing them that, hey, you, right? I've
mhm.
been there. Hey,
That's right.
right? I
That's
can
right.
relate, right? Hey, you know, you don't have to feel alone,
Yeah,
right? Hey,
that's
you, I felt like that before, right? So for all of you out there who may not feel like there's someone that can relate to you, I hope that you will take the time to go on Amazon. Is that where they can get it at, Sarah?
on Amazon.
On
Yep. And
Amazon.
I recorded the audiobook. It's not on Audible yet, but
Woo!
I recorded it and you'll get my voice. Uh, walking you through it. Walking
Right.
you,
Where do you record that voice at, Sarah? Tell them
oh,
about
right
where.
here, this lovely Keeper of the Key studio that I'm in right now. That also someone who's author of Confessions of Church Girls recorded her audiobook as well. So
Yeah. Yeah, that was a great experience. Uh, Sarah, she's my one of my many sisters, but when I was 16, Sarah was born. And at the time, I think we were always fixated on the fact Sarah is a very gifted and anointed piano player, right? So I think from a young age, we always thought, oh, yeah, Sarah's going to play the piano, right?
mhm,
And to our amazement, right? There's so many gifts
mhm,
inside of Sarah, right? And I say that because if we're not careful, not that Sarah isn't still a gifted piano player, I
mhm.
think sometimes if we're not careful, even in families, even in relationships, it's so important to pull the telescope
That's
back
right.
sometimes because we can pigeonhole people,
Come
right?
on.
And we'll only see that one thing, right? But
Come
there were
on.
so many other gifts inside of Sarah, right? Not
Mhm,
saying that she's an excellent keyboard player and she plays not just the keyboard, she plays other instruments. But just imagine if we just kept her on keys, right? So, what I love and what got me on this tangent is because she's calls the studio now the keeper of keys,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Come on.
It kind of tickled me because, right, um, even in our good intentions sometimes, even sometimes in things that were meant to be just the starter or the beginning of things, if we don't pull the telescope back
Come on.
sometimes we can keep people in one thing and God has greater, right?
Come
God
on.
has greater intentions. So I encourage um, us and other people to pull back and allow people to grow beyond
Mhm,
what we can see because we can see sometimes even prophets, even people, they can only see a certain thing, but it's up to us to allow that thing to cultivate. It's up to us to look beyond the obvious, because the obvious was the piano, right? There was so much greater, right? And so now in 2023, and right before the eve of her birthday is on the 27th, right?
Yes, it
God
is.
is showing us so many greater things. And what this book for me, I'm seeing is sometimes we have to have those conversations with ourselves. Hey, you, right? Hey, you, right? So sometimes people can see it. Sometimes there's even prophetic words that are spoken over your life, but sometimes you have to separate yourself. Sometimes you have to have those conversations. Sometimes you have to spend those times with God so that you can see what else is within me. And let me just put a note here. Sometimes people will still just see the piano.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. Yeah.
Right? Sometimes they won't see the books. Sometimes
Mhm.
they won't see the keeper of keys. Sometimes they won't see you traveling. Sometimes they won't see the graders. So things like, hey, you
Yeah.
is very important. So I encourage all of you, and I haven't even read it yet. So don't think that I'm just this biased person. Oh, that's just her big sister trying to sell the book. I am an unbiased, but kind of biased because I'm her oldest. But honestly, I haven't even, Sarah, tell him, have I even read the book?
No, I'll admit.
Read the introduction. I haven't read the book. I didn't even get to read her post fully today. All that provoked this is I had a bunch of stickers, which I'm really bummed, but I had all these stickers today at work, and a Hey You sticker was in there that I can't even show y'all right now. And I called Sarah on my way home today and I said, Sarah, I saw, because I didn't even really get to read her post, I forgot, even though she told me your book was released today, right before your birthday. Do you think you will be able to have time tonight to do a post with me? Because I didn't have time to do, hey, this is Marchet Fulham, author of Confessions of Church Girls, proud mother of Jada Louise and Enzel Fulham. And then I said, can we get on here? And then I couldn't find the Hey You sticker, right? But then look at God. He had us get on here, and just to be on here, no script, no nothing, just two sisters on here, just so we could get on here and show that even if you start with one thing, God wants you to have that Hey You conversation so that he can show that there's greater in you. I'm excited to read the book. I'm not only going to buy a copy for myself, I'm going to buy multiple copies so that I can bless other people. That's not only going to be my gift to other people, but my gift to my sister, because I believe that much in her. Right? I'm super proud of you, Sarah. And I pray that even when I read it, because I'm in that Hey You season, right? Because I believe there's greater in me than what people see. So I've been having those Hey You conversations too, Sarah.
Come on, somebody.
Right. So,
and that's part of it too. I want to like echo what you were saying earlier is it doesn't matter what's happening around us or what, we have people in our lives, and you're famous for the faithful few, the people that are around you that are going to champion you and be on your side. And, it's just like Jesus. He had the crowds who were always going to be there. And then he had the disciples, and then he had the three. And then he had the time when it was just him, in prayer. And all of those were needed. All of those were necessary for purpose and what he came to fulfill. But it's understanding that even if no one else is there or on your side or can see what you see or is going to, be there to push you forward, like those conversations that you're able to have with yourself to kind of, my Pastor Angel, she says, you pick yourself up by your bootstraps. And it's not to, I also want people to be very mindful that like God made us spirit, soul, and body. So every element of you matters. So it's not just your spirit where you go to church and everything's okay, which, please go to church, but also take care of your mental and emotional health and take care of your physical body, because all of it matters. But like the whole of you matters. So when you say, hey, you, it's more than just like speaking to one part, it's speaking to the whole of you, because the whole of you matters. And it's the whole of you that's going to need to be put together to go forward and move towards what God has for you. So even if no one else goes along, if you can have, if I can have, if we can have that internal dialogue that's like, hey, you, remember who you are. Remember who you said you want to be. Remember whose you are. Remember the direction that you said you want to go in. If we can keep having those conversations, first with ourselves, and then whoever else comes along, if they come along, then we're set up to finish our race well. That's it.
Well, you heard it. You heard it from someone that's on the eve of her birthday. It might even be technically, is it Sarah?
Yeah, on the East Coast. Somewhere in the world, it's my birthday.
Somewhere in the world, it's already Sarah's birthday.
They're celebrating.
So,
yeah.
I believe this will be the first of many recordings that you will see. And what I'm laughing about is I think we've just birthed something new, a shift in what I've been doing, where you're going to see Sarah is now the very first person that I've ever done a live recording with. So, hey, you. Thank you for being my first one.
Come on, somebody.
Many, right? So, hey, you. Thank you for being what has been birthed inside of me, right? And what I know for sure is that God has a plan and he does not lie. And even if you don't understand that soft voice inside of you that's telling you, do this, don't go there. That's the hand of God leading your life, right? And it doesn't have to be deep, right? Or we don't have to consider it to be a deep thing. That's just his love and guidance. And what I know for sure, right, is that he loves us more than our mind can often fathom. So Sarah Nicole Butler, author, right? Not just musician, but author. I'm proud of you. I'm very honored to have you on here tonight. Thank you for taking time tonight to be with me. And for all of you, make sure that you visit Amazon and purchase Hey You. And to a very, very, I won't say lucky, but a blessed viewer today, you will be gifted her book, Hey You, and let you know how you will be gifted with that Hey You book. More details to come this week. We're going to have some kind of contest for the Hey You, right? But stay tuned, stay locked in. And this is Marchet Denise Fulham, author of Confessions of Church Girls, proud mother of Jada Louise and Anzel Marchet. And what I know for sure is God has a plan and he does not lie. Get your copy or copies of Hey You on Amazon.com and stay tuned for the Audible from Sarah Nicole Butler.
Thanks,
great things happening. Love you, big Sarah.
Love you, girl. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.